we'll go ahead and start today's meeting, which was supposed to start at 7:15. We're running a little behind. Today is Thursday, and what we will do is go ahead and let Hope Global speak first due to the time constraint that you guys have. And what we'll do is go ahead and follow up on the back end on the reports that we have. So, Arthur, if you would please go ahead, you can start and update us on what you guys have, and then we'll follow up with any questions that we may have afterwards.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you to the committee for having us here today. Like we were just saying, we've got some updates. Our team's been working really hard trying to get things rolling. Ever since we kind of were given all the green lights with our documents getting signed and whatnot in the May timeframe, it's been full on effort with our design team, architects, consultants, engineers, the city staff. They've been tremendous to work with. Honestly, I'll happily volunteer. City of Fort Worth staff, phenomenal to work with, a lot faster than, say, other cities that we've worked with. So that's been a great experience. I think, frankly, it comes to show the importance of this project and the desire to, have it get moving quickly. So that's been a really positive. So one of the kind of things a lot that we wanted to make sure we do in a thoughtful manner along the way of this process, right? We had a lot of community engagement early on to look at and discuss kind of goals in the community for these parcels of land, and coming up with a sound development mix and development program, and with the idea that as it evolves as a development business, it's a very lends to very evolving projects, staying in touch with the community. So obviously with these meetings, Matt's been a part of them, and as part of our team, making sure to keep everybody abreast of what's going on. We have a more kind of specific updates that we've been working through, and so wanted to give that update to everybody here. Oh, y'all hear that echo?
Yeah,
Hold on. My tablet wasn't acting right, so I had gotten on my tablet, on my phone. Okay, come on.
I'm glad Mr. Ross made it safely home.
Yes.
And while we're waiting, I want to thank you all because based on our meeting last month, there were questions specifically on the architectural design, and so Arthur will be able to with this presentation show you all the subtle differences and some not so subtle differences, but it's still consistent with, and Robert Stearns is joining us now too, consistent with the overall vision that we've been setting forth with the plan. We just want to ensure that things are aligned correctly with the appropriate dimensions and things of that nature. Are we ready? And Arthur, I'm about to change slides, so I will go to slide 2. Okay.
Yeah. No, that's great.
All right.
Okay. So in terms of changes to the plan, so we'll
Go ahead, Arthur.
Okay. In terms of changes that we've made on the plan, it's really kind of focused on the large block, the one closer to the highway. So we'll kind of walk through kind of the rest of the program holistically, but I'll spend a little extra time where there are some changes to it. So an overall site plan, right? And we'll have some visuals as well, some 3D views that we can kind of get a feel for what the look and feel and the direction that it's gone. So with the large block, most significant change is the retail component. So if you remember previously on the southeast corner at Missouri, our retail component there, where we're targeting to bring a grocer. Okay, that was a standalone retail like structure. Yeah, and so we had the rest of the multifamily block kind of surrounding it. We had a garage that was kind of off to the side, and they had the multifamily kind of wrapping around it. With as with the development business and kind of peeling the onion and getting more information as you go, you generally start with kind of high level information, and you make intelligent assumptions about what you have, and you make plans, and as you dig in deeper, you find out more about those information, and you adjust your plans. So that's very much the case here. So with that block, the dimensions of the block were not exactly as we had thought, and so we looked at, okay, how could we creatively come up with a plan that would keep the program, what we're trying to build in terms of square feet and units and things like that, and amenities and look and feel, architecturally, with the goals that we had set forth, throughout our process with the community. And so we came up with this plan, and basically the main change is that the retail is now part of the structure. So you've seen in other projects, say, where the retail is on the first level, and then you have the multifamily, the residential units to the north of that. On top of that. So that's what we've come up with here. This is perfect. You can see the retail block on the corner. We're actually working with our design team right now and with the city on how we can capture some mezzanine space that basically adds more square footage without being like a whole nother floor, for instance. So we're thinking we're going to be probably in that 12,000 square foot range for that retail component, which is pretty close to where we had it initially. And then I guess a little bit more technical on the garage. This current layout that you see with the garage in the middle and kind of a ring on each side of it, it's a very efficient layout for multifamily development. For instance, say if that garage were off to the side, which is actually how we had it previously, if you lived way on the other side, you park and then you have to like walk way clear across like this huge block, right? So with the parking in the middle, it makes for a better experience for residents actually. So we think that this as we dug in deeper, kind of making refinements, making improvements. So that's another kind of change in terms of the layout and the program. But otherwise, we still have the live work units, that we've talked about from the beginning. There's several of them in the middle block between Evans and Missouri, but there's some here on the block next to the highway as well. So this is kind of that visual. You can see the grocery component on the corner with the multifamily directly stacked above it. So here's where we started taking I think a lot more I think refinements on the plan in terms of building materials and making sure to incorporate the red brick that kind of speaks to the vernacular with the historic structures in the community just across the street, and kind of using different materials to make the building interesting, not just a large kind of contiguous block. You can see the live work units on the ground floor of this view. Trying again, keeping with that goal, that plan to really activate the ground floor, make it a great space with shops and businesses that face out into it, and having the wide sidewalks, great landscaping, great lighting, things to just make it a very pleasant, walkable experience, on really throughout the development, and as we've been making refinements to the plan, keeping that here. This is kind of swinging around.
No, go ahead.
All right. Just kind of swinging around the building. We're kind of standing the corner next to Harvey Hazel, so looking sort of southeast. You've got the highway to our kind of right off the page. And we've located the leasing office here. We feel like that's a good spot for some visibility, some easy access. You know, with folks driving here on the service road, you can pull into the garage area or some of the parking here on the street, you know, and get to leasing office. We really wanted to save the frontage along Missouri for that live work space, for the retail space. So we decided on the leasing being here at this corner, and, you know, kind of activating that in a different way. And you can see some of the kind of going down kind of towards the right of the page, some of the screening for the garage. So this would be part of the garage that is open air, you know, with the highways kind of right next to us here. But, you know, kind of screening it so it doesn't look bad. And then, of course, the majority of the facade of the entire building is, you know, multifamily units with, you know, people's windows and residences. So next one, Matt, please. Okay, this is swinging down further. So we're just kind of going down the service road and down to the next corner. I guess we're next to Jack in the Box down here. And yeah, just kind of keeping that variability in materials. And, you know, you can see some of the break there as getting closer to Missouri, and, you know, just kind of trying to address the building in a thoughtful design manner. And then we have a few more. So this is looking straight at Missouri. So standing across the street where that other retail space is, and you know, looking at that block, so you can see the, you know, the balconies on the street. You can see the grocer retail space and the live work units there, kind of on the right. It's kind of this view right here. This gives a good visual to a kind of the sidewalk and what we're thinking along there. Oh, looks like you're painting, Matt.
Was that? Can you see? Oh, you can't see the presentation?
There it goes. There it goes. Okay. So these are just some of the visuals of the amenities inside the multifamily building. So obviously the pool. There's another one I think next here with the pool as well. You know, so really trying to create a nice space and the amenities that, you know, people want to have in when they live in multifamily buildings like this. And then, so if you remember on the overall layout, there were kind of those two kind of donut holes on both sides. So one had the pool, the other one we're planning like kind of a outdoor loungy kind of area, sit down maybe for dog walk, that kind of deal. So have this programmed on the other side. And this is the middle block now. So we're kind of looking across Missouri, and, you know, this is down along Evans. So you've got some more of the live work units at the ground level, with the smaller multifamily building above it. The green space with the park with the play area we had programmed, and we kind of updated, you know, what the buildings next to it sort of look like. But, these are very similar to prior imagery. And then this is at Missouri, kind of looking north. You can see the edge of the that would be like the grocer on little awning kind of thing on the side there. Just kind of looking north, and so that would be the middle block with the commercial space on the bottom and the apartments above it. So this is the same building, just looking at it from further up Missouri, kind of looking southeast from here. The bottom floor that also has the live work units. You can kind of see that in the background there behind the parking. And then this is now on Evans, looking south west. You've got the middle block with the with the live work units on the bottom. You've got the neighborhood brew in the old Embers building, just off on the right portion of the page, and a kind of a green space in between the buildings. We want to really dress up, activate, these different green spaces throughout, in addition to obviously where the plaza is and everything else. And I think that might be your last one, or and then that's it. All right, let me. I'm parked now, so I feel a little safer putting up my video. So with that, if there's questions or Matt, I'll let you kind of take it.
Yeah, I have I would say this, as far as the designs that you guys came up with, and we all pretty much kind of agreed on up until this point, which we are okay with. Again, we think you guys did a great job on that. It looks good, and we all pretty much are satisfied with the design of everything. I think at this point, our biggest concern or wanting to know is, and the reason for the meetings at this point is really to get an update as to where we are in the process. And when do you guys actually think that you're going to break ground and able to really move forward and have a end date in mind? I think that's kind of where we are at as a group, the neighborhood association, and I think that's kind of the information we need. And the design looks good. We're okay with that. I think right now we're kind of past the design point, unless it's something that you're going to change, like say, well, we're going to take away the grocery store and not have a grocery store, or we're going to make some major change with the design. Other than that, I think we're okay with the design. I think right now we are mainly looking at, due to the time frame of when we started this and to where we are at today, we're kind of looking for more of, okay, this is where we are. This is what we got done with the city, or we can't move forward from this spot because we're waiting on the city, or is the city waiting on you guys? I think that's kind of where we are in regards to getting an update on everything. Sure. If any information that you can give us in regards to where we are right now, and when do you think that we'll be able to get you guys will be able to get the meeting with the city and actually move forward and start moving dirt?
Absolutely. So thank you for specifying in an area of question and wanting to know. Happy to provide update on that front as well. So basically, since kind of turning the green light on the design, on the series planning and making the pretty pictures that we already had for some time, making that real. So that by itself, in a normal development, 6 to 9 months is super normal. And we're fortunately we're kind of ahead a little because we had done some of the work preemptively. But that's starting from June. So we're sitting here, from May. We're sitting here in July. So we very much, the team is fully engaged. They are drawing corridors. They're drawing where bricks go. They're drawing where infrastructure. There's all sorts of drainage things that we're addressing right now, things with Encore. So the team is fully engaged and pounding the pavement, working hard on getting it done. We think it's an iterative process in terms of submitting things to the city. There's probably a significant set of plans, of engineering plans, that we're targeting late November to submitting. But there's still beyond that. There's still kind of more plans that have to get submitted and be approved. Now, as Matt mentioned earlier, we had a meeting with Councilmember Nettles earlier this week, and that was actually follow-up. We met with him a couple weeks prior, and that is an area where we think that there can be sort of a best case on timing and moving things forward, and that's with review processes. You submit a set of plans. you don't necessarily want those plans to sit there for 2 months before they get reviewed. So I think the importance of this project is ringing loud and clear. And frankly, it already is with staff. I think staff has been tremendous. They've been very proactive. They've been setting up the meetings and sending the meeting minutes, been very organized and just being doers throughout the process, what we've been working with so far. But even then, we've talked to Councilmember Nettles and asked for his support at the leadership level to ensure that we have an expedited process. You know, we don't want it to just be fall in the line of plans that have to be reviewed, in which, you know, cities do that. There's mechanisms for doing that, expedited reviews and things. So we're actually have on the books a meeting on August 30th with several departments and Councilmember Nettles to make that sort of ask, you know, and just make it clear that this is a really important project. We want to be able to get to a groundbreaking quickly. Yeah.
So your August 30th meeting, what is this the meeting that you're trying to get approval of the plans for? So what exactly is the August 30th meeting?
It's to speak with the department heads and let them know these plans are coming, and we need your full support in reviewing them and getting to approvals quickly.
So as of right now, I don't think that's the pre-development meeting. That's not the pre-development meeting.
No, we've had several pre-development meetings. We have another one next week.
So,
James, can I ask a question?
Yes.
Matt, I'm sorry, the presenter guy, I am so sorry. Name?
Arthur.
Okay, this
Yes.
Ross. Arthur,
Ross,
and I had addressed the issue with Matt about whenever you guys have that next meeting, the one that you're talking about right now, would someone from the Economic Development Department for the historic Southside be able to sit in on that meeting? In the person of maybe James, myself, because you guys meet with them, y'all come back and tell us one thing. We're wanting to hear from the horse's mouth. We want to meet with the officials to get their assurance. It could be Chris, could be all the meeting that you have set up. What are the chances of sitting in on that meeting?
I think it'd be fantastic. Councilmember Nettles took the lead on setting that up. I'll ask him for, sort of the direction, but I think it's a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So,
and we just established that. We just established that meeting yesterday, by the way, that August 30th meeting.
Okay.
Is that a Zoom meeting or is that an in-person meeting?
Let me check.
It's in person.
It's in person at City Hall.
Okay. And so, Matt, in discovering, even though y'all sit down, did you go to bat for us? You remember you said you was going to be an advocate for us. Yes. Did you do? Okay.
Yes. Well, I'll let Arthur talk about it. So.
Okay.
I think honestly, the council member shares the urgency from this committee, from the neighborhood association, from the community. It really wasn't a sell to try to get the support. I think the support was already there. It was a matter of articulating what the needs are, and in all honesty, and this would be a fantastic on any project that the development company works on, is having the city sort of roll out the red carpet, if you will, on the review processes. That can drag things out like crazy. In Dallas, it's a beating. Mm-hmm. And in a city the size of Fort Worth, I mean, of all the cities we're talking about, there's reasons, right? The reviews, they want to have checks and balances, make sure that, particularly where there's a project of public investment as well, that they're being thoughtful on, making sure all the T's are crossed and I's are dotted. We're just asking that, we do those reviews and we do them timely.
Let me step in. So, it's the meeting that Councilmember Neville set up. I mean, one, it's partly because he's, asking the same questions. It's like, what is the timing on the groundbreaking? The idea of this project being expedited has always been put. That is the reason why we got some of the ARPA dollars in there, because there's some timeliness issues on those dollars getting spent. So there's not going to be any concerns on us expediting expediting this project and making sure that it moves smoothly through the permitting development process. And the project is too important to us, too important to Councilmember Nettles, and we've been working on it too long to let it get tied up and sitting on someone's desk waiting for an approval. So that's really what we're trying to, get some clarity as you all are trying to get some clarity on start dates. When are we going to start moving dirt? What's the time frame look like? And ensuring that everyone's on the same page on sticking to that.
And also the August 30th meeting, if all us having the department heads in one place, and everyone reading from the same sheet music will allow us to have a more effective timeline to articulate, because all of the departments will then be in sync rather than going through a process separately where we'll go through whatever infrastructure process or whatever design process or whatever things of that nature. So in our meeting with Councilman Nettles a couple of weeks ago, actually, at City Hall, yesterday's meeting or this week's meeting was just an update to show you this presentation. But 2 weeks ago, I expressly discussed how to ensure transparency with the neighbors in the community, and so we can create an effective timeline. And that discussion is what prompted his staff to move forward to organize this meeting. And he informed us of that yesterday. Or yeah, it was yesterday. Mm-hmm.
So we don't have a pre-development meeting set up as of yet, right?
We've had a pre-development meeting. I believe it was in June was the first one. No, we're in lockstep with city staff.
Right, I'm saying a pre-development meeting where you meet with our department heads to determine exactly what.
Yeah, so that was not necessarily with department heads. That's with say representatives from each department. And yes, we've had it. That's kind of a sort of formal process that's already there. We, from our own experience in Dallas and in Fort Worth and other communities, when you have the leadership support, it's a whole nother discussion. So if you're just working with the staff person that's getting it done, it's different. It's just completely different.
Right. I understand, because we do development there. So the pre-development meeting that I'm speaking about was all the necessary people from the storm drainage to the whole 9 yards. So if that meeting hasn't taken place, then that's still another.
That was in June. We've already had that meeting.
So yeah, can we get a copy of the recording of that meeting so we can hear the details?
I'm not sure it was recorded, but if it was
that at City? That was at City Hall too, right?
I don't think they recorded the pre-development conference meetings.
I don't think so.
So y'all have had, I think, 2 of those already, haven't you?
Yeah, at least, and we're in constant communication with that whole team.
Okay, well, I think the question is, can we at least see the notes that were taken from? So, I mean, you all are telling us this is happening, and this is Johnny Lewis. Sorry about the interruption, but you're saying it's happening, and I think what James asked, do you have the documentation to show that the meeting took place, what was decided on, and timelines that was decided at that meeting? Did each department head say, okay, this is what we will do at this period, this and the next department head? So you said all the department heads, you've met with all department heads.
It's not the heads. No, that's not the heads, it's staff.
Okay, that you said the heads of staff. Then we need, I think what we're looking at is what minutes or notes came out of that to say this is what's going to lead on to the next. Am I right? Am I correct, James?
Yes, that is correct. Yes. Anytime you have a pre-development meeting, you have takeaways as to what needs to be done or what their recommendations are. So do you guys have those?
So is that a city? Or maybe Robert can help us answer that. I feel like that's an internal City Hall that we could probably reach to get those minutes correct, Arthur.
Well, I believe so. I don't have or have kept a file of the meeting minutes, but I'm sure if they exist, we can get our hands on it for sure.
I think he was asking Robert.
Yeah, well, and basically the pre-development conference that they've had, that is really, as I said, it's typically not department heads that are in that meeting. That is really where they sit down with staff from development, stormwater planning, zoning, et cetera. They kind of go through the site plan. Staff looks at it and asks any questions they may have about the project. If there's some red flags that they need to highlight early, they do that. But outside of that, they really don't. There's really not a set, like, no, it's not a formalized meeting where someone's taking notes. They're not recording it. It's really just a standpoint to provide some feedback for the developers. So I don't know that there's going to be a lot of documentation that came out of that, but we can check with development services and see if they've got anything. I don't know if they keep back up on that stuff.
Well, yeah. Well, I think because our pre-development meeting that we did for the apartment complex, it was a lot of notes and it was recorded, and I don't know the whole 9 yards, but that was with all the department heads. So I guess what you guys had done maybe was a little bit different. So maybe you hadn't got to the pre-development part yet.
Yeah, they have.
Because that when you do pre-development, it actually slingshots you to the next step of what you have to be done to go ahead and move forward. So I'm assuming you guys probably had got to the pre-development meeting yet.
We had a pre-development meeting in June with several different departments.
And no notes, and we don't have any notes for it to just see, where we are, what needs to be done.
Sure, I'm happy to find out. Honestly, that our consultants and engineers kind of take point with a lot of that, so I'll have to check with them what they have or don't have.
Oh, okay. I thought that you and Matt, were you and Matt at the meeting?
Our multifamily partner was in the meeting.
Yeah, that I stated that last month. That was the whole discussion last month. And the meeting, well, let's backtrack, because I want us to understand. I want to ensure that we're all on the same page.
Yeah,
you all are seeking transparency, and there's a difference between, So
this is what I was just asking if you or Arthur was at the pre-development meeting.
So there's a dispute on definitions of pre-development meeting, because based on our reports, we are saying that we've done pre-development meetings, but it's not satisfying what you all are expecting us to give back to you. And so that's where our conflict is. And so
I'm just asking for you or Arthur at the last pre-development.
So we've answered.
No, it's just a yes or no.
We've already answered it, but
no,
I was not a part of the meeting, and it was Arthur. Okay. Arthur, I'll let you answer the other his answer. So
let me ask this question then. Did I know the last time we spoke, you guys was trying to get some legal documents or paperwork from the city signed? Did that ever take place? And have we secured that last lot yet that's owned by the other party?
So we have agreements in place to kind of for that transaction. We haven't closed on the transaction at this point yet, but we're going through the legal paperwork. And just a heads up, y'all, I apologize, but in the next minute or two, I'm going to need to drop off. I do have a hard stop.
Yeah. Okay. So it's fair to say that you guys have not. So I don't see how we can move the project forward if we haven't even secured all the land. But due to time,
no, it's secured. The land's secured.
We can table all these questions, and then we can pick back up the next time you're available, maybe next month, and then we can move forward from there.
James.
Sounds great.
Permission to speak.
Go ahead.
I asked a real simple question, and then we got off on discussion about the minutes, things in writing. I asked Matt in the last meeting, in the interest of transparency, whenever they have another meeting, and this is for Robert and Arthur, do we have a place at the table? The historic Southside representative, someone from the Black Chamber, the city at meeting with the city of Fort Worth officials. We can squash all this. Would you have recording, or would you have paperwork? Would you have something in black and white? if we can sit at the table. This is a historic, this is a
Right.
historic
Right.
opportunity to develop our
I'm sorry.
area. We
Thank
want
you.
to know, can we have a place at the table in a trifecta with the developers, the city officials, the people who are making the decisions, so we can know, instead of getting it secondhand from Robert or from Arthur or from Matt. It's a
Right.
question. So I'm understanding you guys either say, no, we can't be in it, or
That's
yes,
not
we
what we
can.
said. That so when that was brought up, Arthur, that's the
Yeah,
genesis.
if I may, I'll just
Okay.
I'll just answer real direct. Absolutely, would love to have you at the table. Councilmember Nettles took the lead on setting up that meeting, so I'm gonna go through his direction. But I think it's a fantastic idea. I think it'll be a better project because of it. So you have my full support. I apologize, y'all. I really do need to jump. But I certainly look forward to staying in touch and providing all the updates you've got Matt here. He able to answer additional questions.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thanks, Arthur.
Yeah, but we still got Matt in this meeting,
Right.
Right.
and we commitment that we want a place at the table. This is our
I understand that wholeheartedly. And so actually tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., I have a meeting with the Fort Worth Metropolitan Black Chamber of Commerce to discuss just this, because Michelle Green Ford is currently going through their strategic plan for next year. And I asked them specifically, I've met her on a couple of occasions via phone since our last meeting, because that will be a part of that inclusion piece. When meeting with Councilman Nettles, the August 30th meeting, we want that to be open. These aren't closed meetings from our vantage point. What I'm assuring is we're not setting these meetings up, so we're not responsible for creating the minutes. And so I want to always state that Whole Global is creating a catalytic development that is encouraging cooperation. And so I'm meeting with the Forward Black Chamber tomorrow. I will follow back up with Arthur and ensure and ask Councilman Nettles to ensure inclusion for our future meetings with those department heads, so that you all can have representation, because it is very important that that you all have at least know what's going on. I understand the history of not trusting communication. Totally understand that. And so I'm sorry.
So you just let Chris know when you talk to him and you find out the time and the location, which is the city hall, just to let us know and let them know that a representative from the historic will be attending meeting on August the 30th.
I will update you all and ensure.
Yeah, it's Sally's the one that set the actual date of it. But yeah, I agree with Matt. I mean, there's, and I think there may be a sense, because this has taken a while, that you don't think there's a lot of meetings that are going on. There's really not. I mean, the past few months have really been nothing but a lot of back and forth between the city and Hoke on trying to get the legal agreements tied together, the land purchase and all that stuff. So I think we're really just kind of now at the point, and I think that was highlighted by some of the drawings that Arthur showed, that we're just now kind of really at that point where we're ready to come back out and start talking about where we're at with the project. There really hasn't been, it's been substantial work, and it's been work that needs to be done, but it's been nothing that has been really impacting the project. It's really just been going through the legal pieces of getting the paperwork put together up to now.
Absolutely.
Robert, when you say legal pieces, can you expand on exactly what that means, just so we'll have an idea?
Yeah, the land transaction. So again, you've got property that's owned by 3 different entities: the city, the local development corporation, and the housing finance corporation. So that was a very complex land transaction because of the way that some of that was acquired. So we had to work through that on our end. There's a rezoning piece that happened, so that had to occur. So really that was the biggest piece of it. So again, we haven't got into and the ARPA dollars, which has to be dedicated to the project. But that's really been the extent of it. So the other meetings that they've had have really been the PDCs, just to start to get some of those initial feedback and commentary on the project from the different city departments.
Mr. Lewis, I see that your hand is up. I wanted to make sure I recognized you if you had a question.
Yeah, they're answering some of the questions, because the biggest thing was that we have somebody at the table. That's the biggest imperative. I think it's most important, because in the past, when these things fell through, community was never at the table. The community was shut out from all past even though we were there during all the initial planning. But when the big stuff came about, the community never knew anything. And I think this group is right. We need to be at the table at every step of the way. Now, the other thing that when I was looking at the drawings, it always bothers me because I never hear them saying anything. And I'll keep bringing it up time and time again so we don't forget. The commitment was made. Those inserts that are in the sidewalks along all up and down Evans on both sides of the street, that those be preserved so that they remain intact, because that is historical information that was paid for with the blood and money, not just from the city, not just from somebody else, but also from some private pockets, to make sure that that stuff got done. So I just want to make sure that when they do construction, that those inserts remain and that they are safe and intact and remain there for perpetuity.
Got you. Thank you, sir.
Okay, that's all for me.
All right, Matt, we really appreciate you and Arthur and Robert filling us in on the updates of everything. So I guess we'll wait to hear back from you to give us some information.
I'll be here next month.
Yeah, give us information so we could be involved at the meeting on the 30th, and would like to be at the meeting at the Black Chamber, or any meeting that has to do with the discussion of the project. So if there's any way you can let us know, and that way we can attend the meeting. If it's Black Chamber or whoever, we would like to be at all of the meetings to attend.
I understand. So, tomorrow was a meeting between Michelle with the president and their exec board and myself, I believe. But what I will do is we'll keep the transparency, and if it's open, we can make the rest of the meetings open. And again, keep you all in the loop.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you.
Anytime.
All right, and then now I guess we can go ahead and move on to the rest of the information we have here. Miss Lorraine, did you have anything you wanted to speak about?
No, I just wanted to make the Economic Development Committee aware of the city has awarded a grant to survey the historic properties in the historic Southside. So I spoke with the guy, Jason Newhart, who was supposed to be with us tonight, but couldn't. They're going about in the historic Southside, looking at historic buildings and trying to survey and record them. And I asked that he kind of keep us in the loop on what they're doing and let us review the historic buildings to ensure that they haven't overlooked something, because they don't know everything. They're just out there hunting and pecking. And so we just want to make sure that they get everything. You think they're going to get the main historic things like Sunshine Cumberland Presbyterian Church or something like that. But we got to make sure that the Lenore Rolla Center and all the other kind of and historic homes. They're looking at some of these homes that have been built in the early 1900s. And so if you know of some that have been built in that time frame.
I've got the book. I can go out and get it in my car. I was cleaning my garage and almost threw it away. I got a book that has that historical information that we researched and found years ago. I'll get it to you, Lorraine.
Okay. And so we just want to make sure that everything that, because this evolves around the value of our neighborhood. And if we don't preserve it, nobody else will.
That's right. Yes,
Thank
All
you.
right. I sure appreciate that. And Mr. Ross, you don't have anything. I just want to give everybody opportunity if they have anything they wanted to share.
Thanks, James. I've had my piece. I've said.
Okay. All right. Okay, good. Secretary, do you have anything to share?
No, I must say this was a good meeting. I'm glad that someone actually from Hope and someone from the city, both, we had both of them here, because in the past it's just been, to me, that's my opinion, it's just been a one-sided deal. And with both of them being here now, it's kind of like, how it is with kids, and until you get both people together to find out what's going on, you'll never know. So I really feel as if this was a very instrumental meeting.
Okay.
And I look forward to hearing from Matt to, so that whatever meetings that, he's a part of that have anything to do with the historic Southside and what's going on with what they're doing, that we have a seat at the table. Because it's hard whenever, if a person isn't there to answer the questions that we need answered, if we have a representative there, that person is going to come back and let us know what's going on. That's all I got to say.
Okay, thanks. And Johnny, you have any other any wording?
No, but I'm glad I had read about the survey, Lorraine, but I hadn't thought about it, but I just have, like I said, I was cleaning my garage and found that book, and I think it has a lot of some of the historical data that I think we're talking about. So I'll get that to you.
Okay. Thanks.
And I don't really have anything. I just really wanted. I was hoping Jerry would be here today just to give us an update on the Juneteenth Museum. But other than that, I really didn't have anything. We will be having some changes with economic development for the new chairperson, but we'll hold off on that and make those announcements when appropriate. But other than that, that's pretty much it. Again, we do appreciate you guys, Go Global, coming on and sharing that information with us. I know we seem little, we just want to stay involved. We just want to make sure that we're at the table.
James, can I just say one little thing and I'll shut up?
Yes, ma'am, please.
So Matt, I think from a historic Southside perspective, we appreciate you talking to the Black Chamber, and you should, and you're going to probably talk to Southeast Fort Worth, all of those folks. One of the things that we want to impress upon you, we're going to live here. They aren't, okay?
Y'all make that very clear. So
yeah, and so we want it to be, the worst thing that could happen is from people outside of, who don't live in this area, who are making decisions about what happens here. Now, we're collaborative. We want to work with folks, and they may have an idea that will work with us, that we can work with. That's fine. But what we don't want is for somebody to sit off over someplace else and they make a decision about what we are going to look at every day and deal with every day.
Right.
That makes sense. And I received that, and I understand that perspective. And based on a commitment I made maybe October and November of last year, which resulted me in actively participating in this economic development committee, is the strategy of an inclusionary front of the community, not just one entity dictating what Black folk need developed over here.
Yeah.
That's why I actively want to make sure the historic Southside is there. And that's why I'm actively in these meetings. So I understand. I'm still, like I said, I'm a brother from Oak Cliff. I'm not going to pretend to know historic Southside things, but I can empathize how you all are feeling, and I want to do the best to be an ally for you all.
10-4.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, I will. Let me say this real quick. So I sent Ms. Jerry. I've been working with the Parks and Recreation Fields for Glenwood Park. So they finally got 3 designs of the playground that they want to install over there at the park. So they want us to take a look at those. We're probably going to send this out, or have it at the committee meeting too. And that way we can pick and choose which playground we would like to go with. So me and Johnny and Gina, we're still aggressively working with Parks and Recreation to continue to move forward to get the park where it needs to be as well. So other than that, that's all I have.
Okay. And I think Ms. Lorraine, I'll send that out to you and Ross.
Okay.
Love,
Oh.
peace, and soul, and natural childbirth.
Exactly.
Oh, God.
Y'all have a good one.
Have a great day.
Okay.
Thank you all.
All right, bye.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye now.
Peace.
Bye. I look forward to hearing from you, Matt.
All right.